Hi everyone, in this video we're going to solve a new problem. The problem name is IPO and the problem number is 502. So first of all we're going to clearly understand what this problem says. After that we're going to move to the logic part, and after that we're going to implement our logic in C++, Java and Python programming language. So now guys, let's see what this problem says. Suppose LeetCode will start its IPO soon. In order to sell a good price of its share to venture capital, LeetCode would like to work on some project to increase its capital before the IPO. Alright. Since it has limited resources, it can only finish at most K distinct project before the IPO. So guys, this is a restriction of a project. So LeetCode can only finish at most K project before the IPO. Help LeetCode design the best way it's to maximize its capital after finishing at most K distinct project. Now guys, our task is to maximize the capital such that we can finish at max K project, right? Before the IPO. You are given n project where ith project has a pure profits of I, and a minimum capital of I is needed to start it. Now guys, in example 1, you can see that we are given two array, profits array and capital array. And the first project need capital 0 to start. And once we completed first project, we are going to get the one profit, right? And similarly for second project, we need a minimum capital 1 to start. And once we complete the second project, we are going to get something 2 profit, right? All right. Initially, you have W capital. So we are going with the W capital initially. When you finish a project, you will obtain its pure profit and the profit will add it to your total capital. Fine. See guys, first if we completed the first project, then we are going to get one profit, right? So this one profit is going to add in my W once we completed this project, right? All right. Now guys, pick a list at most K distinct project from a given project to maximize your final capital and return the final maximized capital. So now guys, we have to pick at max K project, right? As LeetCode can only complete at max K project. Now guys, we have to pick such that we can get a maximum capital. So this was the problem. I hope you understood this. If you still have any kind of doubt, don't worry. We are going to understand this problem with this example one now. So I'm going to take example one. Here we have a profit is nothing but 1, 2 and 3, and capital is nothing but 0, 1 and 1, right? And we can complete, we have a limit of 2 project, right? We can complete at max 2 project, and there is W, which is initial capital, that is 0, right? So now guys, we have a initial capital that is 0. That means I can only start those project which has a minimum capital, or we can say which has capital 0 or less than 0, right? So here guys, we have only one project right now that has a 0 capital, so I can start this project and the profit I'm going to get 1. So I'm going to add in my W, right? So now guys, my W is nothing but 0 plus 1, that I can say is nothing but 1 now. Now guys, but my K will decrement because I have done one project, so now my K is going to be nothing but 1, right? So now guys, I can see that I have capital 1. So I can only start those projects which has capital 1 or less than 0. As this has already been taken, so this is not a part of project now. So we are left with two projects, and I can take this one as well or this one as well because both has capital 1, right? So now guys, tell me which project should I take? Should I take this one or should I take this one? You can see which has maximum profit. This one has a maximum profit, right? So I'm going to take this one. And now my capital is going to be nothing but 2 plus 1 plus 3, that is nothing but 4, right? So my final capital is 4 and my K is nothing but 0 now, right? So I have taken all the project. Now my K is 0, so I'm going to return 1, 4, right? You can see in the output as well, I have nothing but 4. Now guys, I hope this much is clear to you. So I hope now you understood the problem. Now let's move to the logic part, how we can solve this particular problem. So in logic guys, what we can do, think about this. So first of all, if you know that we need to do a sort of capitals, right? Why we are sorting a capital? See guys, if we sort, then minimum a project which need a minimum capital will come first, right? As we given W, so I can take at max project because I know that the minimum we can say the capital required for a project is going to be at the first. So if I sort the first example, if I take, so there is nothing sorting, these are already sorted. So let's take another example. I'm going to take 1, 2 and 3 and 0, 1, 2, right? So it is, let's say, in initially not in sorted order. Then if I say this, then you can see that we have to traverse this. Then we are going to say 0 part, then we are going to take it, then we are going to come back from initial position, then it's going to take big of n square, right? But if we sort it, then this will going to come like this. 0 will come first, then 1 will come first, then 2 will come first. But remember guys, whenever you are sorting it, this project also going to be changed, right? Because this project is defining the same index. If we in example one, you can see that if 0 index has 0 value, then respective project profits is going to be 1. If you sorted this one capital, then you will lose the order for profit, right? You're going to add the profit for any particular project whose don't have that particular capital. I hope now this is clear that first of all we are going to sorting the capital. Once we sort the capital, then also we have an error. What error we are going to have, let me tell you. So let's say key is nothing but 1 and you have an array. Let's say this is nothing but I'm gonna take a one. Let's say this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, right? And this is also capital. This is profit, and this is capital nothing but 1, 2, and 3. And initial capital you have nothing but 3. So now guys, tell me which project you will do. You have sorted, right? So you can see capital is in sorted order. It is sorted order. So you're gonna take you have one project. So you're gonna take the first one. You can see this is less than W, right, or equal to W. So I'm gonna take this project, and you will say my profit total is 2. So you're gonna add 2 into this, so it will become 5, and you will say that my I have taken the one project. Now I don't need to take any more project. But wait, you can also take this one to one as well, right? So you can also take this one to project as well, and it has a profit nothing but 6. So you're gonna add 6 into your W, and you can say I have maximum profit 9, and I took this project because this also is less than or equal to W. So now guys, how would you come to know that which project should I take? Even it is in sorted order. So guys, for that I can use a priority queue, right? So what I can say until and unless I don't have I have a value which is a capital value is less than W, I can put in my priority queue. So in priority queue, I can see that one is less than W. So okay, I put in 2 in priority queue. Why 2? Because profit is gonna taken, right? So now I can see this 2 value is also less than W. So I'm gonna take 4 as well in my priority queue. Now I will move ahead. 3 is less than W. Yes, it is less than or equal to W. So I can say I'm going to put 6 also in my priority. Fine. And if there were more values, and let's take some more values. So I'm going to take little bit. So I can say there is a 10, but it has cost nothing but 5, right? And here is also 2, which has cost nothing but, let's say, 7. So now guys, you can see that if there is more value, but still it will not gonna taken. Why? Because you know that 5 is not less than W. So but still we have nothing but 246 in my queue, right? So the maximum value, I'm going to use a maximum heap, that means max priority queue. So it's going to take me the going to give me the max value, that is nothing but 6. So I can say I have taken I need a one project, so I take nothing but one, we can say k is, I decrement by k is equal to by minus 1, and I took the maximum value and add it in my W, right? 9. And let's say if there is a k is 2, if I need to take a 2 value, then you can see that my k is decremented by 1. So now I will have one value because I have taken a one project, that is 6, but now my W is 9. So I'm going to start from ahead because I have taken already all this element in queue. So I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to say now keep checking how many projects are there which are less than 9, right? How many projects are there, or we can say project which has a capital less than 9. So now you guys can see that nothing but 5 is also less than 9. So I have taken 6, so I'm going to put 10, the maximum profit, and after that keep ahead. 7 is also less than 9. The put also 2 is also in my max heap. Now I'm going to fetch my maximum value, that is nothing but 10. So 10 will remove here, and 10 will come here, and 10 will add it also into my W. So 9 plus 10 is nothing but 90, and k will become 1 to 0. Now it will decremented by 1, so it will become 0. Now guys, you can see that by with the using of priority queue, I could able to take a maximum value 90, right? I have, first of all, I need to sort it, then I need to use a priority queue. And how I'm going to do it? I'm going to keep checking when until and unless my capital is less than W, keep pushing in my priority queue. And once we are completed this travel search, means once I got a value which is greater than or equal to W, then greater than W, then you are going to break it, and you are going to take a max value from your priority queue, and now you are going to decrement, yes, okay, and you are going to update also your capital. I have this much capital clear to you. We are going to say first step is nothing but sorting, second step is nothing but we can say use a priority queue, right? A third step is nothing but keep adding, keep decrementing your k and adding your max value into your W, right? So that is nothing but the logic part. I hope now you understood this. Now guys, let's move to the implementation part, and let's see how we can implement this in Python, C++, and Java programming language, right? So first of all, I'm going to do this with Python. So I'm going to say, first of all, what we need to find a length. So I'm going to say length is nothing but length of profits. And now guys, I know that I have already also told you that profit and capitals are related to each other, right? If zero index of profit is we can say the first we can say first project is nothing but having a profit 0 index, and capital also which is at 0 index, right? Let me write capital, which is also 0 index. So I can't change it, right? So first what I need to do, I need to make a 2D array which is going to take profit as well as capital inside of it, right? So I'm going to say nothing but my array is going to be list, I can say zip, let me write a zip, and here I'm going to say profits and capitals, right? Once I done this thing, I have now my capital and profit inside my 2D array, right? Now I can sort it. I can say array.sort key is equal to lambda. I have to sort on the basis of I have to sort on the basis of capital in increasing order, right? So I can say lambda x of 1. So x of 1 is nothing but capital value. So it's going to sort on the basis of capital value in increasing order. Once we sort it, we are going to use our priority queue as well, right? So I can say priority queue is going to be maxi. Fine. Now guys, I'm going to say while my key is greater than 0, I can say while key is greater than 0, you keep taking the values from your array, right? So now what I can do, say I can say I have to define one more variable, that is nothing but keep track of how many values we have already pushed in our queue, right? So it is going to be index 0. Initially we haven't pushed any value, so we are starting at 0 index. So I can say while index is greater than, sorry, it should be less than n, while it is less than n, and I can say my array of idx of 1, or we can say 1 as capital, so it should be less than or w, right? I told you that until and unless my capital is less than w, you have to keep pushing your priority queue, right? So I can say min heap, so I can say heap q dot heap push, and I can say min, inside of min heap you have to just put my array of index, and you have to push the profit, right? And inside python we don't have a max heap, right? We have only min heap. So what I can say, I can multiply it by 1. So I can say this, right? So once we push it into a priority key, I have to increment my index as well. Fine. So now guys, when we come out from this loop, we are going to say if I don't have anything, if no, there is no min heap, if there is no min heap, so you can say return w, because there is no element which has a value less than or equal to w in my array, right? So if it is not the case, then return w. But if it is the case, then what you have to do, you have to pop the max element, right? So I can say the value is going to be pop, so I can say my w is going to be plus equal to -1, because I have pushed my data inside a one heap queue by multiplying -1. So I'm again multiplying it with -1 so that I can get my original value, right? After that, I can say heap queue. So let me write heap queue and heap pop, and here I can pass my min heap, right? And once I done this, I pop up topmost value, which is maximum value, and added it also in my w. We can say a capital, and after that I can say k minus equal to 1. That means I have taken one value, and after that I can return my w. So that was the problem. Now let's try to run this code and see whether we are getting a right output or not. If we are having any error, let's see that. So you can see that both the test cases are passed. So now let's try to submit this code. And also you can see that is successfully submitted, right? So that was the problem. I hope you understood this. Now let's move to the another programming language, that is nothing but let's see C++, right? So now guys, in C++, what we are going to do? So first of all, we're going to find a length. So that is nothing but we can say profits. So let me write profits, and the profits dot size, right? So this is going to give us a length. Now I'm going to create an array. So I'm going to say vector, and this is going to be pair of int comma in, and this is going to be nothing but we can say my array, and initially it has nothing. So I'm going to traverse over my profits since int 0 less than n. Let me write here 9 and I plus plus. I'm going to say array dot push var, and here what I can do, I can say profits. First of all, I'm going to put a capitals. Let me write capitals and capital of I, comma, let me write here profit of I, right? So once we have done this, we have created a 2D array where we have a first index capital and second index nothing but profit, right? So once we are done with this, we are going to sort it. So we can say sort array dot begin. So let me write begin and array dot end, right? So this is going to sort my 2D array, right? So once we are done with this, we are going to traverse. First of all, let me define a priority queue. So priority queue. Let me write here queue, and here this is going to be data type integer, and this is the name I'm going to give is nothing but pq, right? So now I'm going to define also index. So let me define index, which is going to be nothing but 0. We are pointing to first index, right? So we're going to say while my k is greater than 0, keep going, right? So you have to take a project, right? So before that, we are going to push into our priority queue as well. So we are going to say while index is less than n, and we can say that arr of idx of 0 is less than equal to w. Here we are using a ARR of idx of 0 because I have pushed initially capital, after that profit, right? So I'm going to check with the capital. Until and unless my capital is less than w, you have to keep incrementing it, idx as well, and also you have to push that particular data into your priority queue, right? So we can say pq dot push ARR of idx of 1. That means the profit you have to push in your priority queue. Once we are done with this, we are going to check it. If priority queue is empty, pq dot empty, then what we can do? We can say that if it is empty, then you can return w, right? So there is no more element which have less than or equal to w, right? So now guys, once we are done with this, if there is no at least one element, then what we can do? We can say guys, take out the topmost element, the greater element, right? So I can say w plus equal to the pq dot top, right? So once this is done, we are going to say pq dot pop. All right. Now once we are done with this, also we are going to say k minus 1. We have taken the one project, and after this while loop, we are going to return w as well, right? So now let's try to run this code. So I got an error. It says that while ARR of IDEX is 0, so it says that what kind of an allocation error. All right. So we have done something wrong. So guys, let me find out. All right. So we can't use this 0 because this is a pair, right? So we can use the first and we can use the second, right? Because we are using a pair. Now a pair we can't use indexing, right? So now try to submit this code. First of all, you can see that all the test cases are passed. Now let's try to submit this code. And you guys see that this one also submitted, right? Now let's move to the last programming language, that is nothing but Java, right? So let me take a Java. And here, first of all, we are going to find a size. So we can say int n is nothing but profits dot length, right? So this is going to give me a size, total size. Now guys, we are going to define array, right? So we can say my array is going to be nothing but, let's say int, I can say int my arr is going to be new int the length and the two size, right? So once we are done with this, we are going to traverse over this. For int I0, I less than n, I plus plus, we're going to say arr of I is going to be, I of 0 is going to be capital. So I can say capital. And arr of I of 1 is going to be nothing but, we can say profits, right? And profits of I is going to be this, and capitals of I is going to be this. So when we are done with this, we are going to sort it, right? So we're going to say array of arrays dot sort. We can say we can pass this particular thing arr, and we can say also comparator. We can say this is going to be a minus v, right? Once we are done with this, let me first of all see without this, because I can think that it's going to sort by default by capital only, right? So now once we are done with this, we are going to say int idx is 0, and we are going to define a priority queue as well. So I can say q is going to be integer data type, and it's going to be the name, let's say pq is going to be new priority queue, right? Priority queue, fine. And it is priority queue is going to be of another data type, that is nothing but a comma b. Let me define my own comparator, and here I can say we have to b minus a, because I want it in a max order, right? By default it's going to take min order, right? So once we are done with this, we are going to use a while loop. While k is greater than 0, that means we have still to do some project, and we are going to say while my idx is greater than it's less than n, and we can say arr of idx of 0 is less than or equal to w, then you can take that particular value inside of your priority queue, right? So we can say pq dot add this particular value. So we can say pq dot add arr of idx of 1, and you can increment your idx. After that, if there is no data inside of our priority queue, if priority queue is pq dot is empty, so we can say you can return, right? So if it is empty, then you can return w. But if it is that, if there is at least single data, then we are going to pop it, right? So we can say w is going to be plus equal to, so pq dot pop. So we have done this. Now guys, once we are done this, we are going to say return, we are going to decrement our k first of all, and then we are going to return our w, right? So return w. So this was the, I can say, the code for Java. Let's try to run this code. I guess it should work, because I haven't used a constructor here. So you can see that it's giving an error. Okay, so spelling mistake, capital. Now let's say to run this code. There's one more error, that is nothing but we need to find a comparator here, right? So we can say comparator a comma b, that is going to be nothing but a minus v. All right, so now let's run this code. Okay, so all right, I have to do, let me say a comma b is nothing but this. So it says that binary operator. Okay, so what I can do, I can say a is go array dot sort arr. Let's say, let me define here one other thing, that is nothing but a. If a is smaller than b, then fine. All right, so it is a 2D array, so I can say a of 0 minus b of 0, right? So this is gonna work, right? Now let's see, I hope it should work. You can see that both the test cases are passed, right? Now let's try to submit this code. And it also submitted. I believe you guys, you understood this problem. If you have still any kind of doubt, you can ask in a comment section. I'm always there to help you. And guys, I believe you understood this problem. You know why we use a priority queue, why we sort a capital array. All right, so if you learn something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.